Hi everyone, welcome to Lunch Hour Lessons with Allison. I'm Allison Mädl and today is December 19th, 2018. Each week I bring to you live a lesson that you can take with you into your daily life. And if you like what you hear, you can comment or like this video. And every time I do a lunch hour lesson, I also post on my website a blog that goes with this lesson. It's basically a transcript, but it has some great extra information. So if you haven't been checking those out, that would be a fun thing to do. I'll have it up after this post. So welcome. Last week I talked about prioritizing sleep, and this is actually a second episode in that series. And so it's just these two series. Last week was prioritizing and this week is optimizing sleep. So I did mention how sleeping is really important. And if you haven't had a chance to watch that episode last week, it would be a good time after this one to go back and get caught up on it. I do really believe that sleeping is a productive activity, even though we sometimes think of it as being lazy. But that was the lesson for last week, that making sleep a priority is not being lazy. So luckily, there are ways to, this week we'll talk about optimizing sleep, the sleep that you can get, because not everyone can get the recommended 8 to 9 hours a night. So if you are only able to get a little less for a short period of time, then there are ways to optimize that. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So I also want to talk about the positive things that getting enough sleep can do for your health, and also give suggestions to improve the sleep quality. So before we talk about sleep quality, let's talk about just sleeping. Why is it good for us? Why is it important? So the first thing that a lot of people are thinking about this time of year, and maybe more when we get into January, will be weight loss. So some people have some excess weight that they'd like to lose, and sleeping is a huge part of any program that's aimed towards weight loss. When we sleep, we actually are giving a sign to our body that we're in a rested state. I mean, it makes sense, right? We're resting, so we should rest. And when the body's in a relaxed and rested state, the body thinks, okay, well, I don't need to hang on to this weight that I'm keeping around for emergencies, for survival. I can just let it go. And so it really gives our body a sign that things are good, we can let it go. And that only happens if we're sleeping. So that's a really great thing that we can do when we sleep more, and it feels good. Our skin is also healthier when we have more sleep. So the concept of beauty rest is a really appropriate term. It's something that can help with getting our hormones in balance. And hormone balance also helps to do with skin health. And so if we're sleeping, our hormones regulate better, and that also will give us a signal to clear up any persistent acne that might be there. So it's not a cure-all. None of this is a cure-all, but it goes a long way towards, if we can get our sleep maximized, then our skin will be better. So we talked a little bit about hormones just then. And so to expand on that just a little bit more, mood is also very much tied towards sleep. And that's probably the easiest thing that people can understand. When they're not sleeping well, they're irritable. It's not, that you're a bad person or that, you just can't handle it. It's that literally our bodies are thrown off when we don't get the sleep. Then we can become short-tempered, or we don't have the patience as much as we would like. So moods can improve greatly with more sleep. And it's sort of amazing how we look at the world differently and think, wow, what a beautiful day it is today. But it might have just been that we had our 8 hours of sleep last night. So you might get along better with others, and that's always a bonus. So the liver, let's talk a little bit about detoxification. So it's really important that we try to maximize the time awake during light hours. And I mean, when the sun is out. This is really going to help regulate our circadian rhythm. The liver has a detoxification stage that it enters around 3 a.m. So when we eat dinner, no later than about 8 p.m., and then we allow at least 2 hours before dinner and bedtime, we can allow the body to go to sleep with the hard work of digestion already completed. And so then the liver is free to perform this kind of complex process of detoxification that it goes through every night. So we really want to make sure that we are eating early enough to allow our bedtime to be early enough to have that liver to then go into its detoxification stage. If we're staying up till midnight every night and eating dinner at 10 or 11 p.m. every night and then going to bed pretty much right after, even staying up till 2, we're infringing upon that time that's set aside for the liver in its natural circadian cycle to be able to do that detoxification. So we don't need to go on a massive detox diet or anything like that. All we need to do is sleep more, and a lot of that'll help our liver to really have a lot more capacity to detox and then be fresh for the morning. So now let's talk about sleep quality. So no matter how much sleep you're able to get, if you can maximize the room that you sleep in to be sleep worthy, then it's really going to go a long way towards getting the best out of whatever sleep you can get. So one of the ways we can do this is by reducing blue light. That's the light from screens, computers, tablets, television screens, things like that, at least 1 hour before bedtime. So try to put those things away and focus on print materials, books, magazines, meditation, whatever routine that you get into before bed that doesn't include those screens. There is an app called Flux, or F.LUX, which removes the blue light from screens. So I actually have that installed on my computer. My laptop has this app on it, and it'll sync to your time zone. And so about 2 to 1 hour before dark, before the sun goes down, it will start to lower its blue light, and it actually gets more of an orange glow. And it already immediately sets myself to think, okay, it's time to be thinking about winding down, and you get a little bit of a relaxation on your eyes. So a lot of people also have these blue blocker glasses that you can wear. Some of them are really cheap. You don't have to get really expensive ones. So those are two things, the app and the glasses, to remove that blue light if you absolutely can't just turn them off, before bed. During the day, there's some things you can actually do to improve sleep at night. So you can make sure that your eyes get actual sunlight during the day. So if you're looking into the sky, obviously not directly at the sun, but try to look into the sky with no glasses or contacts. So take your glasses off, get that, because the contacts and glasses actually have a UV filter on them too, which is a good thing. We don't want to hurt our eyes, but just a short amount of time in natural light will really go a long way towards setting that circadian rhythm. Like, now it's day, and at night you'll be able to actually produce more melatonin, which is the hormone that allows us to feel sleepy. So I notice that if I get a walk in during the day, or if I just on my lunch break, I go outside and I look into the sky for about 5 minutes and just sort of be in the daylight, at night it really does really well towards helping me feel sleepy. So that's a really interesting thing. You can couple that with exercising, like light walking or something like that. And that way you'll expend a little energy. Also helps people sleep better at night. There is a couple other things that you can do besides the blue light in your room. You can try to get blackout curtains. It's really important to sleep in as dark of a room as possible. The quality of your sleep, even if you're not noticing it, is going to be a lot better in terms of its health benefits. So even little tiny lights on the television screen, like the little light that just says that it's plugged in, it's going to disrupt sleep to some degree. So if you can block out any lights, unplug electrical units, put things on a power strip, and then you can actually just turn off the power strip. That's what I do at night. All my appliances in my room are plugged into a power strip, and at night I just power down the power strip, and it shuts off all that electricity. You can also turn off your Wi-Fi router at night, and that's what we do in our house every night. Just turn off the Wi-Fi router when we go to bed. That you don't have to stay away from all routers and everything during the day, be really obsessed about it. But if at night you can turn it off, it really helps the body to go into a more peaceful, deeper sleep. And it's a simple thing because you're sleeping anyway, so might as well turn it off. So that would be a huge thing that you can do. I think that's about it. Oh, the last thing I wanted to mention was battery-powered alarm clocks. So if you use your phone as an alarm clock, which is what I do, I put it on airplane mode when I'm sleeping, which is really important because you don't want to have those cell phone signals right next to your head while you're sleeping. It really will disrupt sleep time. And so I put it on airplane mode, but then I that means that it's on battery. So if you have an actual plugged in alarm clock next to your head, that's going to be more disruptive of sleep than a battery powered alarm clock. So most phones are batteries, so that's already that way. But if you have a separate alarm clock, you can just use the battery mode, the battery function. So that's pretty much it for optimizing. It helps to go to bed at the same time each night, gets your body into a cycle, kind of get a routine going before bed. And if you can do just a couple of these things, it really will make a big difference. So that's going to be the subject of the weekend tip that I'll post on Saturday. I'll give a couple options for how you can optimize your sleep. And be sure to tell a friend this week's lunch hour lesson, which is early to bed, early to rise makes a person healthy, wealthy, and wise. I remember my parents telling me that when I was young, and I think it's an apt one here. So again, that's early to bed and early to rise makes a person healthy, wealthy, and wise. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye for now.